What's going on, guys? Hopefully this video is going to work out. I'm having issues with connecting my camera, but in this video let's talk about Cleanspark Bitcoin on the charts. Bitcoin's RSI has been cooling off, which is great, while we still maintain right around 35,000. I've also got a very short video for you guys by Cleanspark regarding Bitcoin's 15th year anniversary. It's been 15 years that Bitcoin has been around, and let me know when you first heard about Bitcoin in the comments below. I remember back in the day seeing it on like Coinstar and instead just putting all my quarters towards buying an Amazon gift card or something like that. And that was back when people were talking about Bitcoin and how it's just used for the dark web, used for illegal activities, and things have definitely changed quite a lot since. That was way back when, way before people saw it as a flight to safety, way before people saw it as a better choice than fiat currency that gets constantly inflated. Bitcoin is capped in supply, and one of the best performing assets in history was staring us right in the face. And I'm also going to feature an article going over how Cleanspark is one of the best penny stocks to buy. But let's get started on this. If you guys like these videos, consider hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Everything I go over will be in the description below, as well as some links to some free stocks and cryptos. But let's get started on this video. And first off, starting with Bitcoin, you can see that we are starting to cool off on the RSI while we maintain price. This is pretty much what I was hoping for. And I do still see the possibility of us having a little drop coming down to about 33,000 before bouncing, which would definitely bring that RSI down to a level where if we do break out, we're going to see an accelerated move. If we were to break out into 36,000, I don't think we could really see much of an accelerated move from here just because the RSI is still so overbought. But over the last couple of days, RSI has been cooling down, which is a good sign. Well, price hasn't dumped, so that's really good. But due to this recent move upwards, we saw a nice golden cross here, and the only possibility for us to see a death cross again would probably be for us to break this 33,000. But if we don't break this 33,000, this may be the last cross. This may be our last golden cross until the end of the bull cycle. And I do want to show you guys not the previous halving, but the halving before. The previous halving was definitely skewed because of the timeline, because of March 2020 when everything crashed. But looking back towards the 16 halving, the 2016 halving, you'll see that right at the end of October, we flashed a golden cross. And we went on to absolutely rally in that Bitcoin cycle, and we didn't see another golden cross since. And when you look at this Bitcoin halving cycle, it is really playing a lot like the halving cycle 2 cycles ago. Now in the last cycle, the final golden cross we saw was in May of 2020, right after the halving. So there is a possibility, maybe we pull back, maybe we see one more death cross, and then a final golden cross more towards the halving or right after the halving, if we're going to copy what happened in 2020. But taking out the March 2020 crash, if it wasn't for that, we would have probably seen our last golden cross in the previous cycle back in February of 2020. But I personally think it's going to play a little more like the 2016 halving cycle. And so far, it's been doing just that. But regardless of if this is the last golden cross, or if we see one more short-lived death cross and then a future golden cross before the halving or slightly after the halving, Bitcoin is still looking wonderful. And I'm honestly quite impressed that we're still holding right around 35,000, considering so much volatility in the overall market. Bitcoin's essentially been trading somewhat sideways since the end of October. Now I do want to talk about Cleanspark on the chart. We are seeing a pretty rough day today, right around a negative 5% as of this upload. And what I'm still watching for here is a break of this ascending channel. And this is an ascending channel within a descending channel. You can see ever since our run up near $8 back in July, we've been essentially following this descending channel all the way down. But so far this ascending channel here has been the thing keeping us from dropping further. If we see a break here, we could see further downfall because of this descending channel. However, towards the middle of November, if we see a pop, if we see a breakout of roughly $5 by the middle of November, so we have about a week or 2 weeks, we could break out of this resistance line on this descending channel. If we don't break out of $5 by about the middle of November, we could potentially break this ascending channel and continue downwards. So I think it's going to be very important to watch Cleanspark over the next week and a half, because I do see a big move coming, either to the upside or to the downside, depending on what the overall market does and depending on what Bitcoin does, where Bitcoin goes. But it's starting to become more and more obvious that the Fed is at the end of its rate hike cycle. We recently saw another pause from the Fed, and one thing to think about is towards the middle of November, before the potential break into either direction, we do have CPI coming out, along with some other inflation data. So I do think inflation data is going to be very important. If we see a higher CPI than the previous month, or if we come in higher than expectations, we could see a further drop for Cleanspark, because perhaps the market could price in another Fed rate hike if we see some really high inflation data compared to the last month. Now, if inflation comes down over the last month and comes in under targets, under estimates, we could see this break out of 5 and a continued run for Cleanspark. But I do think CPI is going to be the catalyst, along with Bitcoin's price action, obviously, coming up to the middle of November, which will dictate if we're going to break down and fall further, or if we're going to break out and move much higher. Now, I do want to mention this article to you guys. It says, top penny stocks to buy now, 4 to watch before next week. And Cleanspark is on this list. Now, I will leave it down below for you guys so you can check out the other stocks they mention. But they have a little section on Cleanspark here. I'm not going to go over every single thing, so make sure you check it down below, but we do have a quote from Zach Bradford. Integrating the S21 into our mining operations is in line with our commitment to using the most efficient mining technology. The efficiency of the S21s should not only increase our capacity, but should also drive down energy costs per Bitcoin mined. Now consider this, Cleanspark is already the cheapest miner when you consider all-in cost to mine Bitcoin. And there is a graph or a chart showing that by JP Morgan in a article right around a month ago, saying basically that Cleanspark is the top miner. I'll try to provide that to you guys in the description below if I remember. But continuing on with this, Zach Bradford goes on to say, our scale has positioned us with strong Bitcoin production at solid margins. And as a result, we expect to fund the majority of the purchase through operating cash flow. And that is one thing that puts a little bit of fear. You know, Cleanspark isn't a profitable company. They're either going to have to dilute a little bit more. They're either going to have to pull out debt at a high interest rate. That's why you don't fight the Fed. All of these unprofitable small caps have just been extremely beaten down ever since the beginning of the Fed rate hike cycle. We are getting to the end of that, and that is a positive catalyst for all of these small caps. So just remember that currently Cleanspark is not profitable, although I do expect to see profitability sooner than many may realize. And I will touch on that in a second here. But continuing on, analysts covering Cleanspark include JP Morgan, saying that it's overweight, deserving a 550 target. Cantor Fitzgerald, overweight with a $10 target. Chardon Capital, as a buy with an $11 target. And HC Wainwright with a $14 target, saying buy as well. And they have a bullish, bearish, and a balanced case. Bullish, the increased mining capacity and growing Bitcoin holdings could signify a positive trajectory for further growth. That's very vague. Bearish case, volatility in Bitcoin prices and regulatory uncertainties surrounding cryptocurrency could pose risks. It's still pretty vague. Balanced case, the company's performance might be contingent on both the continued growth in mining operations and the broader market conditions surrounding cryptocurrency. That's extremely vague and very generalized as well. My bullish case is they reach profitability before the halving. Mining rewards get cut in half. They get back to unprofitable for a short period before getting back to profitability again, either in late 2024 or early 2025. My bearish case is they don't reach profitability by the halving, but towards the end of the bull cycle, 2025, they do reach profitability. Even in my bearish case, I still see Cleanspark reaching profitability by the end of this cycle. But will they keep it? You know, after the end of the bull cycle, when we get to crypto winter, they could likely become unprofitable again. But only time will tell. Now, as a balanced case, I could see Cleanspark reaching profitability probably in late 2024 and throughout most of 2025, which for them profitability would mean Bitcoin back to all-time highs, back to around 70,000 would place them profitable even after the halving. Alright guys, hopefully this is working. Hopefully my camera's not frozen. Now, I do want to give you guys some context on why I think Cleanspark could be profitable before the halving and potentially before this year ends. Now in the next quarter that's going to be reported, which goes over July, August, September, I don't expect that to be a profitable quarter, although we are going to likely see record revenue. And in the last quarter they reported they gave a $45 million revenue. I think it was like a $12 or a $14 million loss. Maybe someone can comment below what the specific loss was, but it's somewhere around 12 to 14 million. They're expecting about $10 million revenue growth. Maybe we see, if expenses are the same, maybe we see like a $2 to $4 million loss, but I don't think this will be the quarter that's profitable. And this is the quarter that's going to be reported at the end of December, but it was the quarter ending in September. There's quite a lag there. Now the next quarter, which is going to be October, November, December, wrapping up the year, I do expect this to be a profitable quarter, as long as Bitcoin can reach somewhere around 40,000 by the end of the year, and even better if it's trading at 40,000 for the majority of December. It makes it even more likely that they're profitable. October, we've been right around, 30 to 35,000, and so far this is setting up to be potentially a profitable quarter for Cleanspark. As long as we don't see a dramatic fall for Bitcoin, I do expect to see profitability by the end of this year. But keep in mind, this is going to be a quarter that's going to be reported in the new year in 2024, but I am talking about the October, November, December quarter. And let me know in the comments below if you guys think they'll be profitable as well. Now this is becoming a pretty long video, but I also want to remind you guys, anyone that's in Iris Energy, they're going to be likely giving a Bitcoin mining update anytime now. Their last mining update was the 5th. Keep an eye out for that. I will be doing a video covering it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully there wasn't too many issues with editing here. Let me know what you guys think about Cleanspark in the comments below. What's your bullish case? What's your bear case? And what's your base case? Do you see them reaching profitability before the halving, after the halving, or not at all? Thanks as always for watching, guys. I'm going to end it with this short Bitcoin anniversary video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Thanks again.
15 years ago, Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin white paper on a little-known mailing list frequented by cryptographers and privacy experts. The 9-page document, written like a formal academic paper, introduced to the world a new kind of money, digital, scarce, and decentralized. That money was Bitcoin, a decentralized solution for peer-to-peer payments. Bitcoin was created as an alternative to existing money, more secure and transparent than traditional financial systems, and free from government and bank oversight. Satoshi's true identity remains a mystery. They did not seek fame or recognition for their innovative technology that has since gone on to transform the world of money. Cleanspark is thrilled to develop infrastructure for Bitcoin, a new, more inclusive money for a new, more inclusive world.